But before we do anything else, let's go back to Peter Cardwell, who's down at Downing Street, to find out exactly what he's been able to find out about what they talked about inside Downing Street, about a 45-minute meeting, Joe Biden and, of course, the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Peter, what can you tell us?
Not a huge amount, Mike, to be brutally honest. We're going to get a briefing. The lobby correspondents, the political correspondents like me, are going to get a briefing in about 20 minutes from the Prime Minister's spokesman, but a short meeting, only about 45 minutes. And really, we expect, of course, that they talked about NATO coming up. They're both off to Lithuania tonight, and certainly the cluster bombs that the United States is sending to Ukraine in its fight against Russia will no doubt have been mentioned within the meeting. But what they're keen to let us know and keen for us to discuss is the Atlantic Declaration, this idea of an agreement between the United States and Britain in terms of using things like AI, using environmental measures, strengthening supply chains. But the elephant in the room really is that there is just not a free trade deal between the two countries post-Brexit, and that is something that none of the three Prime Ministers since Theresa May have been able to secure in any way. So that's we will hear fairly soon. I will tell you as soon as I know what the two men had discussed and the outcome of that meeting.
Right. And as for the NATO meeting, which begins tonight and presumably rolls into Wednesday, because Rishi Sunak's not able to do Prime Minister's questions as a result of it, what's on the agenda there?
Yes, it is a pretty strong agenda. There's lots to talk about. Ukraine becoming a member of NATO is something that Joe Biden on CNN yesterday said that he didn't think they were ready, didn't think that should happen just yet. So he's slightly at odds with Rishi Sunak and many other NATO nations on that particular point. Sweden, as well, is a nation that wants to join NATO as soon as possible, and I think that's going to be on the agenda for NATO. Obviously, who the next leader of NATO is as well. Jens Stoltenberg, who is the Secretary General, he's just had his term extended by a year, and that's another part of the argument, or disagreement anyway, between the UK and the United States, because the United Kingdom government wanted Ben Wallace, the current Defence Secretary, to be considered to be NATO Secretary General. That's something that Joe Biden isn't happy with. Instead, his preferred candidate is reportedly Ursula von der Leyen, who is the President of the European Commission, former Defence Minister in Germany, which is widely seen as a pretty disastrous Defence Minister in Germany. So that's a point of contention as well. No doubt that will be discussed at NATO, but Jens Stoltenberg remaining in that role at least for another year.
Absolutely. Peter, thanks very much indeed. We're just seeing pictures now of Rishi Sunak and Joe Biden in what appears to be the Downing Street garden. Haven't really seen that since Dominic Cummings' resignation or his expanded press conference.